All right, welcome back to the Rollin Tray. This will be episode 2. Appreciate everybody for tuning in. I'm back with my guy Jeff.
What's going on? What's going on?
We're gonna break it down, roll it up, and see what we got for y'all this week, man. How's your week been, bro?
It was awesome. I was with my baby girl and my lady, so we was big chilling, enjoying each other, a little bit of family time. About yourself?
Oh yeah, man. I just spent a lot of quality time. You know what I mean? A lot of creative stuff. I've been reading up a little bit.
There we go.
You know what I mean? Just yeah.
I like it. I dig it.
Trying to stay warm, you know what I mean? Trying to smarten up a little bit, you know what I mean? While I'm in this house, though. Paying all this money for rent.
Oh, my God. Let's not even get started on that shit.
Nah, for real.
But a whole nother episode.
Nah, for real. It's been a great week, though, man. We just pushing through, dog. Every day, one day at a time, dog.
One day at a time, brother.
All right. Yeah, man. Let's get right into it, man. First thing I wanted to talk about was our thoughts and experiences on growing weed at home, man. What's your experiences like with home growing and shit?
I mean, I'm very novice to say the least, but I will say, and you saw it. Yeah. I had a friend of mine bring me a clone. So they bought me a clone. Are we still shooting?
Yeah, you good.
So they bought me a clone. I really didn't know what to do with it. He told me 12 hours no light, 12 hours of light, right? And then I was watering it like every 3 or 4 days. I had this shit for like 4 or 5 months, and it just sprouted these big, beautiful buds, bro. And like, I didn't have any expensive lights, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't really have the proper lighting.
Yeah.
I had what I turned into a grow tent. It was a picture box. But I just, that's the same material that they use for those grow tents. So I used that to keep the sunlight out and for it to sleep during those hours. I probably half-assed it most way, but I ended up getting some beautiful buds, bro. They were stank as shit. They were dank.
Yeah.
You helped me trim it. We trimmed it.
That shit looked fire, bro.
It did.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
It did, bro.
That's why I was checking on it. You know what I
purple.
mean? Every time I come through, like I check on,
Right.
look at the shit
Just to see the
it,
progress.
like,
yeah.
Yo, this shit is coming right along, dog.
And
like,
it did, bro. And it ended up. So after we cut it, I think I let it dry for like 2 days.
Yeah.
I rolled it up. It was cool. I mean, it definitely had a taste to it, but I think I needed to let it dry a little more.
Oh, you think it wasn't
like
quite ready yet?
Yeah, it wasn't quite
dry
ready yet.
Yeah.
But I mean, I think the overall experience was super dope, bro. It was cool to see it come to life for real. Like when I first got it, it was just a tiny little sprout. And then boom, we had like at least like 4 or 5 really big nugs that we pulled from it. I mean, shit, I smoked that motherfucker. I got high.
Yeah.
So shit did the job.
Yeah, I'm about to say, hey, you can't.
I could only imagine had I put actual time and effort into it.
Yeah, it was
had real lights and, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
How it could have turned out.
Right. I guess we'll have to try again in the future.
Yeah, you need a lighter?
Yes.
Yeah, I've never grown at home. Like, you know what I mean? I've obviously wanted to and looked at it, but like, coming up where I came up, it didn't, like, you was not trying to do that unless you was trying to, risk going to jail for real.
For real.
But now I'm definitely interested in it more, like, especially because there's all these different, like, machines and shit you can get to grow at home. Like, you know what I'm saying? The at-home grow tent, like, basically, like, the little shit that look like a mini fridge where you can go. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely trying to see what's up with one of them. But where did you, like, how did you learn the process to even start that shit? You know what I mean? Like, cause niggas, we had back in the day, we started out smoking mid. Most all of us started smoking mid, depending on how old you are.
All right.
So like the seeds, whenever the seeds came out, you know what I'm saying? Mid had seeds. When the exotic seeds, when you found it, like the exotic or the gas, whatever it was called, wherever you was at, when you found the seeds, it was always like, damn, I should grow this shit, or I'm gonna try to grow this shit,
bro.
But like, niggas didn't really know what to do, like for real, for it to grow for real.
It's crazy you say that. It takes me a time when I was like in 5th or 6th grade, and me and my cousin Dave, we had just collected seeds over the years. And bro, we had to have like 100 seeds in this little baggie. Yeah, every time we got seeds, we smoked a lot of mid. Every time we got seeds, we was popping it in the bag. And like I said, we was like in 5th or 6th grade, and one day we did try to grow it. We tried to plant it. We planted them in the ground.
Yeah.
We watered them. You know what I'm saying? Always checked on it. They never grew. You know what I'm saying?
Happened?
So nothing happened there. We were hoping that they did. Back then I thought it was such a simple process. I thought, all right, put the seed in the ground. That bitch finna grow some pounds, and we gonna get rich. Man,
for real?
Hell no. Shit, even at 30-something years old, I told you I just got that clone the other day, and I mean, shit, I only got 4 or 5 buds out of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. But I would say it's a tough process. I think it's a lot tougher than what people think. I think there's there's actually a lot more money and time involved in it. Like lights, one of the most important factors of growing weed, bro. Lights are so fucking expensive.
Yeah.
And then you have to constantly run lights. So now you got to pay for the lights, then you got to pay for the electric bill.
Because it's gonna go up no matter. You know what I mean?
Up.
How crazy was that though? Was it like outrageous, or was it like how was your light bill affected?
It was pretty outrageous, bro.
Pretty crazy.
It was like a whole nother bill kind of tagged on. Yeah.
So like you said, especially in the beginning, you got 12 on, 12 off. That's a whole nother power source running light.
Bro, that shit is expensive as hell. People don't even think about that. That right there, you have to have that gap money, that bridge money to get you through that time of growing, because you're gonna have to put out bread to keep your grow going, you know. And then there are so many variables. You got mold, bacteria.
I was about to say, did you have to add any like, you know what I mean, like pesticides or any like
the growers that we worked with did. The growers that we worked with, they definitely handled and took care of all of that.
Yeah.
Their primary job was to kind of come in and I guess like, you know, chaos control. And you know what I'm saying? If anything went crazy haywire, they were always there to make sure, you know, everything got back right. But for the most part, man, I don't want to take away from the growers because see me, I mostly handled it from a management standpoint. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want to take away that when we did grows back in the day, man, we got to give it up to the growers. That was all them. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have the time nor the experience or the willingness to learn that game. You know what I'm saying? Where I'm at right now at 30-something years old, I ain't gonna tell you my true age, but 30-something years old, I have no want or need to grow by any means. Yeah. I love the process though. I think it's super dope. You know what I'm saying? I love to see people grow. I love to meet growers, but it's past my window to, you know what I'm saying, get my green thumb going. But so shout out to all the growers that we do know. It would for sure definitely not be possible without y'all.
No, for sure. Yeah, it starts with y'all, and y'all are the ones who really, you know, put the love in and set that foundation for it for real. Because if y'all on some bullshit, then everything, all the products and the flour, everything rest of the way is gonna be garbage. Nobody's gonna want
garbage.
That shit. So yeah, no, shout out to y'all for real.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because people have been out there putting that work in for a long time.
A long time, bro.
Yeah, it's some real OGs and real pioneers out there in the game.
Who, bro? So I know a grower, and not to cut you off, bro. I know a grower went to one of his grow spots in Michigan one day, and he had a grow of like 40 pounds. And he's been growing for over 30 years. One of the pounds came out. There was a sample pound. He did not like it. But he burnt all 30, 40 units. He said, my facility will not put out this quality. He didn't care about nobody making money. Yeah, I was like, bro, just get that shit to me. I'll sell it. He was like, no, not with my name attached to it. Got rid of all of it.
No, he was standing on
I think he did. And that's the thing you run into with like true growers. Like, bro, this ain't just something to make money right quick. This ain't just a side gig, bro. This is these people's life. You know what I'm saying? And they put so much into it. And their brand is a part of it, and really it's a reflection of them. So they like, before I put out some bullshit,
like it's gone. You're gonna really stand on it like that and be like, I'm not even gonna put out no low tier stuff, just because you with my name attached to it, just because that's my standard. Like, hey, that's different. You got to be really standing on your shit, stand on business, and really have faith that you know what you're doing though, for real.
No, most definitely. Shout out my guy T out there in Detroit. He runs the grow out in Detroit. That he stands on that.
Yeah, that's fire, man. Yeah, that's something I've just been thinking about lately, man. The grow part of the seed to sale, part of the whole process. The grow is a very important part of the process. So that's been on my mind lately, just to think about that. And then I just, we was talking about how you was growing at home, and I was like, damn, I ain't never really done that shit. You could do that shit out of a cup, you know what I'm saying?
Out of a red cup, for real. Yeah, straight up.
So yeah, I'm gonna have to try that shit.
I think if you do want to be somewhat successful in the cannabis industry, I do think you need to at least have a knowledge or a surface level understanding of growing. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to know the in and outs. You don't have to know all of that, but understand like the basics. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
So I think that helps you, just further your business along. People don't want to work with people that don't know shit.
For real, because nobody's trying to sit there and have to just
we don't want to baby
all the time. Like people got no problem giving away game, and people will teach you up and game you up on something. But like you said, like if you just don't know nothing, and we just got to stop and give you a lesson through everything.
Come to me with something.
You got to come to me with something, man, or at least be like quick with it. Where you're gonna learn it type shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Pick it up.
You know you did your own due diligence before you stepped out here.
100%.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. So bring something to it. All right. I want to get on these concentrates next, man. I don't know how this is like not been a subject of conversation this far, but bro, I feel like Charlotte is really lacking in like the hash and the concentrate like game. Like I miss the concentrates, you know what I'm saying? Straight up. Like I mentioned, we're living in a hash hole era right now. Like it is what it is. Like pre-rolls and hash holes are just
that's the thing.
Popping right now. You know what I mean?
That's what the people want.
For real. Yeah. And shit, I miss shit like that. You know what I mean? Like I had it before, as a lot of us have. It's been around forever. So you know what I'm saying? Like obviously it was a thing.
Right.
But I feel like right now it's like, like everybody on it. But I don't see a whole lot of concentrates in Charlotte. You know what I mean? I haven't found or come across a whole lot, man. Like what are your thoughts or what's your experiences on that?
In my opinion, I feel like why it's not so big here is because, flower just kind of became a thing. Yeah. They just decriminalized that. It's now becoming a lot more accessible. So the process of even making concentrates, a lot of people, they got to start with the flower, and I think with the way the laws are set up, I think it's hard for people because you have to that stuff has to be manufactured and processed. It has to go through an entire process for it to become a concentrate. That takes big facilities. That takes big machinery. That takes specific type of machinery.
Very specific, expensive type of machinery.
And it's also going to shoot a red flag that if you're buying this type of equipment and it's going to a state that's not necessarily fully recreationally legal, it's going to definitely raise those flags. So people are now going to be looking like, what is this guy doing with this press machine or this rosin machine?
You got a point, especially being that we're only THCA where we at. So it's like, to try to play the balance of, like I said, that 0.3 or whatever it is, the law. You know what I mean? Like when people start to dabble in the concentrates, it's like, oh, how do we keep that in line with the whatever you know what I'm saying?
And with stipulations are much stricter on those than they are actual flower. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because there's an actual, I'm not sure if it's a chemical process that takes place, but some type of process takes place. I don't want to speak incorrectly, but something that, you know what I'm saying, it does need to be monitored.
Yeah, and regulated, because like you said, that equipment that you're going to be having to use in the press to get rosin and, you know what I mean, to all that kind of stuff, that's going to be like highly pressurized equipment. It's going to be a whole different type of lab setup you're going to have it there.
So I think that in itself presents obstacles, right? And we're still so fresh in the cannabis game here. People are really just now getting used to the flower. You know what I'm saying? I don't even think that I'm sure that there's a community here who does want concentrates and only smoke that. But I just think it's more so like where we're located and just our timeline right now. I think as we move forward in the progression of legalizing cannabis and we move forward in experimentation and real research, I think we'll see a big shift in North Carolina. I think in the next 2 years, we're going to see a big shift with a lot of carts, a lot of concentrates and dabs and hash and rosin getting pushed out.
Think so?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I would love to see that. I hope so. I hope it's right. Yeah, I mean, for everybody, across the state's sake, I mean, I hope that, that happens because, I mean, I feel like everybody wants to, try that different stuff. We got a lot of people that smoke a lot of flower here. Yeah. Because, flower's always been a thing.
Right.
But I know there's definitely a lot of people who are real connoisseurs or just have a higher tolerance that would like something a little extra.
Of course. I mean? Yeah, I would 100% agree with you.
I hope all those products definitely flood into the city for real. I'd like to see that shit for real.
Me too. I definitely would. You know, I'm more so like a flower fan myself.
Me too.
But concentrates, bro, that is a whole nother level of like.
Bro, I miss that shit, man.
Yeah.
Them dabs used to have you on the fucking moon, man.
You really see the power of the flower when you're dealing with them concentrates.
That's a fact, for real. Like you said, and it made me look into the science behind it. Like you had mentioned before, like whenever I started taking dabs when I was working and living in the legal industry, like that shit made you look into the science and all that shit behind it. Like, yo, how the fuck
smoking like
you know what I'm saying? Like, what the?
How did they get it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
How did they pull this from flour?
Yeah, like this is rosin. This is hash.
This is resin. Right.
Yeah, this is shatter.
Dog.
This is batter.
Bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Keep going. Like, diamonds, shatter. I mean, shit, bro. I mean,
you like, that shit got crazy, but it was hella interesting, like in a fire way, because like all that shit was just, you know what I'm saying? Good product, just fire shit. So,
for sure. 100% agree. Yeah. No doubt.
So another thing I wanted to get on, man, these grow facilities, man. We've been to, you know what I'm saying, a couple, and there's some bigger ones out here. There's some smaller ones, grow facilities out here. We just had BizCon that just went on, MJ BizCon. For those of you who don't know, it's like a huge business industry, cannabis industry event that just happened recently within the last week or so.
Right.
And that kind of made me think about, like, every year you see the new tech that's out there for cannabis. There's new tech that's out there, the pre-roll machines, the weigh machines, the trim machines, you know what I mean, all the grow processes, the lights, all that, right? But like, I started to think, at what point does it become a little too much? You know what I mean? Like, all that money you spending, is it really yielding you that much product and the quality of product for real to like counteract, what you're really putting on to, you know what I'm saying?
Like the money you're putting out.
Is that really like, because somebody could grow some sun-grown shit and it really just be some fire, like, or people enjoy it more than what you put into this multi-million-dollar facility?
I think what happens is companies or organizations, they grow so big that their demand surpasses their supply. And so now they have to spend the extra money to yield more cannabis, yield more plants, yield more grows to keep up with supply. And for some companies, I think they go up, right? If they do, their business model right and their accounting right, and somebody's really looking over the financing and making sure the money is working where it needs to go. I think those people are successful. And I think on the other side of things, people try to grow too quickly. So it's like
they're a little ahead of themselves as far as like their volume that they think that they're potentially going to be bringing in.
Yes. Okay. And cannabis moves so quickly and swiftly. One day what's popping, the next day nobody wants it. So I think there are instances where like companies, they put out so much bud and it's like, oh, that was the wave. And then they got 500-600 pounds of bud that's not moving no
These
more.
Weed trends will have you looking crazy if you don't pay attention to them, or if you try to hop on something real quick, for real.
Bro, it's like stocks, bro. It's like you got to look at the cannabis stock exchange every morning and see what's going on, like what's up today. Yeah. What's down today.
Yeah.
Flowers booming today. Tomorrow it'll be carts. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like that. And I think like, people get caught up. The cannabis game, it's a cash cow. It's a lot of cash exchanges. I think when you have a lot of cash for you to just pick from like that, I think it's easy to be like, yeah, let me throw money at that. Let me throw money at that. Let me throw money at that. You don't take the time to see if these things are actually working. And then you stuck where you like, bro, I done bought all this shit. I got this big ass facility. I can't even move this much weight. And now the rent here is fucking insane.
And I have all this equipment.
These bills, the equipment. The people I'm having to pay to run these facilities, like, bro,
and essentially my, set of strains is pretty much out of trend, is out of style right now. It's
what I'm growing, they don't even like no more. So
that's exactly the kind of thing that I think about whenever I see like a lot of these like high-end equipment or high-end facilities and stuff like that. Those are like not the first thing that comes to mind, but like once it gets to a certain level where I'm like, yo, like, you know what I mean? Once it gets to like where it's like, yo, this is almost like, is this too much? You know what I mean?
Like this is almost ridiculous.
Yeah, because I don't want to just be, you know, because the plant is the plant. You know what I mean? It could be grown if you know what I mean, through these processes, and I'm not gonna act like, oh, if you're doing it by bulk or by like huge, you know, grow facility, that it's the quality goes down. But I feel like in some instances it definitely can.
It does.
You know what I mean? Because it's hard to grow something at a certain level at mass production. You know what I mean? We've seen that with any kind of product.
Yes. If you look at companies that go super commercial for true smokers, true individuals who really care about like the quality, they've been smoking for a while so they don't get caught up in brands and packaging, they'll tell you, and I can almost vouch, they'll tell you that yes, when these brands go super commercial, the quality on the bud goes down. I'm not mad at these brands because from a business standpoint and a businessman, I understand why. Because if you go from one grow house with one grower who might got 2 or 3 assistants in there helping him, they're gonna grow some fire, right? Hopefully in a perfect world, right?
Right. Ideally, yeah.
If you take that same grower and those 2 assistants and you now give them 10 rooms that they have to be watching,
in charge of,
I guarantee you that the quality of bud is gonna go down.
At least at first, until they somehow learn how to manage all of that. But you're right, exactly.
And at that point, you got to push out more money, right? You got to hire on more people. You know, if it makes sense, it makes sense to do it. But sometimes it doesn't make sense to do all that.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Bigger isn't always better. You know what I'm saying?
Word, that's what
Less
I'm saying.
is more.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm saying. I think you just have to know your market, know like you know what I'm saying, your surrounding areas, know your clientele, you know, who you're serving to, what your customers are liking.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, trends also, there's no way to predict those as well. So it's not like you could just be like, oh, okay, let me see how people around me are going to trend, because that shit comes and goes as the day.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, controlling what you can control.
Yes.
Like I said, knowing your potential environment, and then, you know what I mean, like you said, scaling it to what makes sense for your business is definitely important for sure. Yeah.
I think scaling is very important. You just have to gotta be realistic with your business and your goals and where it's going, where you're going right now.
Yeah.
And scale appropriately. I mean, I've had several businesses, bro, where I was cash strapped, right? So I hopped in thinking because I had the capital, it was gonna work. And I just spent money on things that, I mean, it never turned over into anything for me. You know what I'm saying? It's just a business that's got all these nice fancy things, nice equipment, and we ain't making shit. So like I approach businesses a little differently nowadays. You know what I'm saying? I try to really work my way from the bottom. I try to wait and I see what's going on. I see the money's being made. I see the clients getting bigger. Then I figure out my clients, and now I'm like, okay, I'm making this per month. Maybe I can scale a little bit. Like, you know, I'll start getting this much more. You know what I'm saying?
So
or however you need to move.
So now you take your time with a little bit more. It's a little more calculated.
Yeah.
And you learned that early on, like when you were trying to do business?
Bro, I wouldn't say early on, bro. I would say like I learned about 4 or 5 years ago.
Okay.
To really stop just throwing cash at anything. You know what I'm saying, thinking it's just gonna work.
Yeah, like
bro.
That,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I done started at least 50 businesses, bro.
God damn.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, that's better than starting zero. I will say that. You know what I mean? Just because you gotta keep trying, you gotta keep swinging, you gotta keep throwing, seeing what hits, what sticks. So I fucking commend you on that shit. But that I know you learned a lot from that shit. You had to. I mean,
because there's a lot of losses.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's commendable. And
shit, I'm still learning to this day. We still working.
That's a fact. Every day, man.
Yeah, it's still a grind.
Every single day, man. We talked about it a little bit off camera, but these weed events, man, I'm seeing more and more of them all the time. Like,
now we're talking about pop-up events, or are we talking about like real big events,
both.
Like the
That's a good
MJ
question.
Biz Conference?
That's a good question. Both. I know it's gonna take a little bit time for the bigger ones, like you were talking about, like ones that have like more like industry and like businesses involved. I get that, but I think we need to start from the bottom and form like maybe like a smaller community and maybe kind of do some events.
Right.
But like we need some more events around the city, man. Like,
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's a booming cannabis community here. Like,
sure.
like you know what I mean? Like a lot of people smoke. A lot of people are like with the shits here. Like,
hell yeah.
We can try to get them together in some way. I know it's kind of like it'll be harder to do here because it's not like legal like that. But like I feel like we can at least get people together. At least if we can't figure out how to smoke at the events at first, we can figure out how to get them together. You know what I mean?
Putting them together. At least having, thought provokers and similar ideas within the cannabis industry, meeting up, you know what I'm saying, networking and trying to put things together.
And then when the weather gets back good and it's not cold, it's not during the winter months, then I mean we'll be able to smoke outside. You know what I mean? Because the weather here is nice. We'll be able to be outside with it and like, you know what I mean, really be moving around. But yeah, that's definitely something I've been thinking about and I want to see more, you know what I mean, around the city and shit. And like,
I would agree.
Yeah, I definitely think we're gonna try and do our due diligence and see what we can do about it, honestly. Because I mean, as much as we network and move around the city, like, you know what I mean, like we always trying to talk to people and, you know, people are definitely down for that. You know, every time it's come up in conversation, people are with that shit. So
I think smoking, period, like in its nature, it brings people together. You know what I'm saying? Like innately. So it's like if we can have events where people are coming together and it's a safe space for you to network, you know, get weed purchased, whatever legal cannabis we're allowed to do and deal with. I think it's just good, like you say, for the community. I think it's just good for the market itself, the industry. I think, and that's how you got to start. When I first moved to DC, people used to lobby at the State House, like the same vendors and groups that would do the pop-up shops to DC, they were lobbying at the State House.
For the laws to get passed, that would help benefit
them. They helped
push
these laws. And it really started from those small events of people coming together. Now it's like, okay, this guy, he's on the same shit I'm on. Let me link with him. And then we throw another event and we meet another 2-3 guys that's on the same shit. Now we 10 people deep pushing, you know, what we pushing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so. And I think that's what we're trying to create more of. You know what I mean? That's what us two talk about all the time. And I mean, like you said, I think that's what could potentially happen here.
Right.
If we do that, networking more. And I think just a lot of exposure, man. I can't tell you how much, like, just questions people have, like, about the shit. Like, a lot of people still don't understand, like, the fact that, like, we can, you know, go places and just smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's just...
It is mind-blowing.
Yeah.
That people don't know the laws and their rights. You know what I'm saying? So, but I guess that's what we're here for, to help. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Or essentially that's what we're trying to do.
No, for sure. We're gonna definitely do what we can to help, you know what I mean? Spread that and just put it out there. Because a lot of people don't know. But a lot of people want to do that too. A lot of people want to gather and have events. And I mean, we should, man. That's how the shit comes more normalized and gets more like chill. You know what I mean? Like, it shouldn't be like on the back burner. As much good weed is out here, as much good weed as people are smoking out here, as much people are smoking out here, it definitely shouldn't be something that's just like, you know what I'm saying, on the low, like in the manner that it is. But I don't think.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be scared to fuck around and link up with people who on the same shit as you.
At all.
Doing something that's harmless, you know. But what else we got, brother? I wanted to step away and get this shit right quick.
Yeah, this last thing I wanted to get into, man, I seen recently, it came out in the public. A lot of people have been talking about it. There's been a lot of discussion. Most of it, obviously, you know, kind of negative, kind of taking a bad turn. And I see he's in some other heat for some other trouble, but we ain't gonna talk about that.
Right.
But Jay-Z's brand, his cannabis brand, just publicly kind of crashed and burned in front of everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it kind of, it publicly came out that it was not doing well, that it was gonna, like, you know what I'm saying, cease. That shit it was a wrap. It was cooked.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that situation? What are your thoughts on, like, you know, further just celebrities as a whole, like getting into the weed game? You know what I mean? We've seen it. So
I just think cannabis is such like a really distinctive industry and market, and it was ran so underground for so long. You know, it just kind of came. That's where it originated.
Yeah.
And I think that there's a disconnect between the higher ups and then the cannabis game. And when I say that, I mean, like, if you look at it, in my opinion, besides people maybe like Burner, but like most companies that really do go commercial, I'm not saying that they're not a profitable business, but I think there's a disconnect between it and the cannabis industry, if that makes sense. Like
the community, you mean?
Like, the community, exactly. Like I think that people that are in the community for real, they like the street brands over the commercial brands. You know what I'm saying? And
it
the
always
industry
seems like
brands.
It's more relatable, right?
They are, because you got to think difference in Jay-Z and then the difference in somebody who's running like Gumbo, right? That guy's in it every day. He's probably visiting his grow operations every week, if not at least once, twice, 3 times a month.
No,
somebody like Jay-Z,
Gumbo, them niggas,
for sure. Like those companies like that, they're killing shit, bruh, from all aspects: marketing, promo, PR, everything. Like how they even carry themselves and how they keep pushing out A1 quality, and they're up to all the trends, how they're setting the trends. These big giants and corporations that come in, these are all numbers to them, bro.
I didn't even see Jay-Z market his shit, bro.
Because, man, it was just an investment for him. And who knows how much of that company is even Jay-Z. These headlines will just say shit, and the whole time he's a small investor. He just, you know what I'm saying? You never know.
It was a partnership deal. When it first came out, I looked into it a little bit. I think it was a partnership deal. For sure, but I think he was like one of the majority stake owners in like whatever the partnership is. I had to look it up more in detail.
And so it's probably a partnership deal, based solely on his likeness and his ability to sell products. It's the same as when liquor companies hire these faces. I mean, the same when he did that for his liquor company. And I just think that the business model for cannabis is different from alcohol.
Very.
You know what I'm saying? So we buy commercial brands in alcohol. Those are the only, we don't buy somebody local who's, bottling up their liquor, and the liquor might be just as good or better. We buy a commercial brand in alcohol. And cannabis,
it's a little different. It's
we want the local grower who's putting out that good gas.
No, that's a fact.
For sure.
Yeah.
So
that's a fact.
I think that's what goes on, bro. I just think that they get too much money. They're not attached to the brand and the business, and they're not there daily putting their love into it, grinding it out, you know what I'm saying, working the system, meeting people networking. They're not doing that. They're paying somebody to do that shit.
Yeah.
So
absolutely. And that's what's gonna come about whenever you're doing something like that. Like, what do you think about as a whole, like about the celebs like getting into the weed game? You know what I mean? We've seen some do it right, we've seen some do it wrong. So I mean, like, what do you think, because like you were saying, like it seems like it gets to a certain point where the community might just block you out because you're a celeb. So it's just like, but how do you break for a celeb? How do you break that? And as a consumer, like what could you possibly what are the things that you could be looking forward to when you're trying to figure out who to actually rock with or who actually put the love in it? Because everybody might say that they're putting the love in it.
Right.
But
I mean, I think 2 people in the rap game that stand out to me, of course, is like Burner and Wiz, right? Yeah. And Burner's shit went crazy. I don't think his shit really had nothing to do with his rap. I think that created a lot of connections. But I think it's very hard for entertainers to get in, because I even look at Wiz Khalifa, who he based his rap career off the pothead rapper, right? Mm-hmm. And Khalifa Kush did really well, but in the bigger scheme of things, people aren't out here going crazy, or that's not a trendy weed right now. Khalifa Kush, I mean, it's fucking fire.
I think he's just most recently, really recently, has kind of pushed more into it, and it's kind of made a resurgence. He came out with some other strains, because I think at first it was just KK, but I think he's come out with Violet Sky, and there's some other strains that he's come out with, real recent. I'm talking within the last couple months or so. I've been peeping. He just kind of been pushing Khalifa Kush, you know what I mean? If he would have done that originally, then I don't think it would be on Cookie's level, just because I mean that nigga busy. He doing you know what I mean? So he doing his music on a totally different level. Right. But but I think it would be a lot further along than what it is. But I definitely think it's been growing more recently.
Yeah.
But he's one of the bigger ones. Like you said, him, Burner. I know, Currency has definitely launched some stuff. I seen that Raekwon, the chef, and Charlemagne just launched Astoria. So up in Newark, New Jersey. So
I mean, I think for those artists and those entertainers who like their background was weed and cannabis, I think those are the ones who do go and they make some strides in the industry. But it's the rappers who are just rappers or entertainers who just put some shit out just because their face card, like, yeah, they smoke weed and rap about weed, but they're not pushing it, like those other rappers are. But I think it's hot for a while and it just flames out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like they drop a strain, something runts, and then it's cool for a week, and then you never hear about it again. You know what I'm saying? And half the time, bro, it's the same strand of runts that you got in a whole nother package, and they just rebranded it and renamed it with the rapper. So, I mean, that's the game, bro. A lot of people think, they think these rappers is going into grow houses and actually putting grows together and facilitating grows and have rooms that are dedicated. No, people like Wiz Khalifa probably do. People like Burner do. You know what I'm saying? People like Raekwon do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they're probably on that type of shit. Like Viola, the brand Viola.
Yeah, I was about to say Al Harrington. Yeah,
he's
job.
invested in his business. Exactly. Shout out to him, bro. He's invested in his business.
Completely hands-on in his shit.
And you see the difference.
Yeah, you absolutely do. And you see, like you said, the difference in product, the growth, the way that people gravitate to the brand and their products and stuff. Yeah.
I don't even know what Jay-Z's brand is called.
I don't remember what it was called either. That's what I'm saying. That there was little to no marketing for it. I feel like it might have came out around COVID time. They just. I seen niggas in comments talking about he used to talk shit about niggas who smoke weed or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I don't obviously recall that, but I just thought that was funny. I thought that was interesting, man. And that just happened recently, so I was just like, yo, and I remember that was a big deal.
Right.
Whenever it announced that he was starting the brand, so to see it crash within the first couple of years, this was definitely just a couple of years ago.
It was probably just a money grab. Some rich people came together, but that's just that disconnect, bro. That's that disconnect, from the community, from the people, what they really want.
Yeah,
it's even if they had a different vision or different idea, and I'm cool with that too. It's just bro, you got to be hands on. Bro, if Jay-Z was really hands on, if we seen Jay-Z actually in grow ops,
smoking weed, trying
smoking it, looking at shit, or if we get to see his thought process behind his vision and what is his brand about, what does it stand for, bro, he would have probably had a totally different reaction from the industry. As a whole. Bro, if I would have seen Jay-Z in this shit, I would have looked deep into his shit. Bro, what the hell Jay on? Because I know if Jay really involved, then it's got to be some shit.
Right.
So it probably was just a case of, somebody just had a partnership deal for him and looked good on paper. He was like, fuck it.
Yeah.
I just made 100 M's from a goddamn alcohol. I can put a few million behind this right quick.
Yeah, and just see what happens.
Yeah.
He was definitely willing to take the loss on that one.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's probably nothing to him. He probably doesn't even care. He probably knew it failed months ago.
Yeah. Yeah, man. But yeah, I just have definitely wanted to get your thoughts on that and talk about that because we see it a lot more, and I think we're going to continue to see it. So just wanted to, talk about that because I know it's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of people that do it right. A lot of celebs, entertainers, former athletes. I think the former athletes are it means a little bit more to them. It seems like I don't want to everybody's got a different story, but it seems like for the athletes, and I may be biased because of just being I used to, that's probably part of the reason why I started to, smoke so much. But I think the athletes, it means so much more to them because of the opiates and all that shit. The shit they try to give them and all that. So
the rehabbing is a lot different.
And the CTE, you know what I'm saying? We see all that comes into play and all that affects everything. So
bro.
Yeah, I think we're gonna see a whole lot going in the future. But
I would love to see all professional sports allow the use of cannabis. I'm not saying you got to sit here and smoke it like this. But, even put it in a pill form, give them shots of THC. You know what I'm saying? Let's try some different approaches of some holistic healing versus the opioid route. Yeah, I think all athletes deserve that. Like, to get out here, yeah, I'm getting paid millions, but to sacrifice my body and mind to take opioids to continue to produce on the field, bro, y'all can just give me some weed for that.
That's what I'm saying. And I'll be straight.
I'll be good. I know a lot of athletes that would much rather some weed. It probably would save a lot of bullshit from going on.
Yep, a lot.
I promise you, all that wild stuff that you be hearing probably would calm the fuck down.
Absolutely.
Excuse my language.
Yeah, man. You got anything else for the people, man? Anything else you want on your mind, man? Anything else you want to talk about?
Right now, I can't really think off the top of my head. I want to just, I guess, speak on my optimism for the future. And I think the East Coast is about to do it big for cannabis once we, can get things rolling legally on this side, right? And I hope they leave it for the smaller businesses. You know what I'm saying? I hope that that's a smaller business type of thing, like
there's space for the smaller businesses to thrive still. Yeah. No, I'm with you on that.
I don't want it to be monopolized and all of the big, players in the game are getting the majority of the money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of these small businesses, these small grows, these small companies, whatever, entrepreneurs, because we're seeing people be able to do it so flexible in different ways, like where it's legal. Like, everybody deserves to be able to get that money however they can and however they, Like,
hell yeah,
within the lines. But I'm definitely with you on that. I think it's going in that direction, but like you said, I'm just trying to be, like you said, be so optimistic about it, be positive about it. Like, hopefully it doesn't go to where, federally they get it and where it's like, it turns into a whole nother thing. But
yeah,
I think it's 2025. We're going to see a even bigger boom than what we're seeing right now with it.
Oh yeah, for sure, bro.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Like within the next within a year.
Yeah, I think it's almost like cannabis is like coming out from hiding. You know what I'm saying? It's like start to where are we at anyway? Because a lot of places it's already like, y'all got it. But whatever, man. But yeah, I think that's all I had as well, man. My feelings is on the year going forward, optimistic too as well about it. Because I want to try to do whatever I can to bring people together. You know what I mean? Like-minded people who are trying to, whether it be business stuff or just, find friends and consume and stuff like that. Everybody here don't go to the bar and drink. You know what I mean? So
right.
Or wherever city that you might be in. You know what I mean? So
that would be dope though, like a real social scene for cannabis use. Like instead of the bar, kind of like have a bunch of drinks. Like you showed me the THC drinks.
Yeah. It
was in like a Casamigos bottle. It was crazy.
Yeah, nowadays, man.
Yeah, nowadays.
Yeah.
Nowadays.
Yeah, Try Nowadays.
Yeah.
Is the brand. I think it's trynowadays.com.
Yeah, like having a scene like that and you can smoke like on the outside or wherever. But that would be dope as fuck.
Yeah, man. We're gonna see what we can do, see what we can make shake. It's a little bit of stuff going on, around the city, but we're gonna definitely try to, make something happen. Bring some people together though. But yeah, man, that's all we got. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll make sure everybody like and subscribe. It's been another episode of the Rollin Tray.
Appreciate y'all, man.
Keep it rolling.